Hello and happy earnings season, my fellow investors. I'm going to go over what happened in the stock market today and kind of wrapping up this week. The market is closing on Friday, so tomorrow's going to be the last day of this week, and talk about what's secretly killing the market, something that occurred around December as well. It's setting up for a potential play, and I think it's interesting to talk about. So I want to go over that. We missed the recap yesterday on the market because we were streaming the Netflix earnings. So again, if you guys haven't been on the stream, it's in the channel section or the description in the comments, but we are live 30 minutes before open Monday through Friday. So be there, but also during the big earnings, we're going to be streaming those conference calls and earnings reports. So be there, and I'll post some of the highlights, but they're up there. But yeah, let's talk about what happened today. Today was interesting because there was a lot of volatility, but not really volatility. There was a lot of action with earnings, but not too much. There was big names. There's a lot of stuff we're going to have to be on the lookout for, so watch out for the watch list tonight. I'm so excited to talk about that in the trades tomorrow, but watch financials. The markets gapped up pretty heavy. It looked very, very solid, and then pre-market, it started moving up. Same thing, even Netflix. They closed after their earnings yesterday. It didn't really do much, and then pre-market, it went up pretty nice, kind of set new highs, at least from the day before, and then it just started selling off, and the market came down pretty hard, but it wasn't really too big of moves. It just happened, and then it slowly edged down. Even Power Hour was extremely weak today. So this was interesting considering the moves we got. But we had the earnings. We've been talking about those on the watch list. There was Netflix. That was good. That's going to be one to watch. But then we also had IBM, which even though it kind of popped up there at open, and now it looks like even after hours it kind of slipped there. But at the end of the day, IBM it has a big weighting on the market, so that was a big drop there with IBM. But the travel stocks like CSX and UAL, they still brought the market up, even though they look like they kind of edged down. They're still closing up 4 or 5%. But now the big thing is going to lead to and I forgot Qualcomm. This thing rocketed up today, and I've been talking about this. If you guys haven't been checking out the watch list videos, this is related to the Apple lawsuit that they had, and simply put, it added $2 EPS share is what even Qualcomm guided up on based on the results of this settlement because of what Apple is going to be purchasing and just clearing up some of the air for allowing them to do business in the future. So this is it was great today, and as you see that big move, what I wanted to highlight, not only how big it was today, I even have the VWAP up because the volume today was massive. You had people buying it. This was a overall like 30-40% move total on Qualcomm. I don't know the overall range, but it's broken past the year highs. But the thing that's really important, pull this up on a 10-year chart. This is the most volume it's seen. It's ripping at one point was past the 2014 highs, so it didn't close there. But watch that. A lot of institutions own Qualcomm. This has been a play. This really eases up a lot, and historically, this is kind of nuts. So keep a lookout for that. We're going to be watching that, but that had a big effect on the market. It brought the chips up. Small caps were the lagger here with the Russell 2000. You could see the IWM. It was, a lot of people were even saying that was scary in the morning, but it looks kind of the same on everything. But the SPY, because again, the SPY gapped up. So there was more, it didn't gap up as much on the IWM, but the SPY's gap up in the Dow, they stayed in a pretty decent range. As you see, they didn't close too much, only about 0.1%, and not even, a 0.1% right there on the Dow. So that was interesting to see how that played out, putting this all in perspective, because this looked like a really big move. But again, this is even earnings. It's preparing for the earnings now tomorrow. I don't think we're going to have too crazy of moves. Some people were saying, like, look at Team. That actually ended up dropping 11%. I think a lot of people wanted that on the upside. We had some moves with the insurance companies. We're going to see tomorrow another transports like Union Pacific, if that brings the transports up. And now, really, you're going to start seeing, things move and even diverge, because transports did very well today. They're gapping up, trying to make that move. So again, that could be good with Union Pacific tomorrow. And then we have Philip Morris. You had Johnson & Johnson the other day. The banks, Morgan Stanley did great. They ran up. That was this morning. Even Goldman Sachs and the banks and financials did great. Chip makers, because of Qualcomm, even Apple had a run today. So there was a lot, but even gold came down. The bonds were interesting. We saw some moves on TLT, if you guys recall. We've been looking at that over the last few weeks, but that's related to rates. So rates, the rates were at 3% today, then they dropped real quickly, but then they started dropping again. The rates rose, but then that was interesting to see the market played out. And there's even stuff with the pound. So China made the announcement actually about the trade, the trade deal. They said, even Kudlow, they said they were pushing it. They said around May. So I thought that was interesting because, think about it. First, it was supposed to be March. Then they said they were having difficulties. Then they pushed it back to April. And now they're saying they're going to get a deal done in May. So we'll see what happens. But the markets didn't really react today again, which was interesting. There's a lot of non-reaction. And that's why I'm bringing up the Chinese currency, because this strengthened by 0.5%. And again, you guys could connect the dots if you've been following along with the videos and how I've been saying, watch even with the trade deal, the Chinese currency, to see how, strong and convicted the move is based on the news. So that was a big move. But to see the dollar not really move much, even Bitcoin and stuff was weird. Even nothing happened with the euro, kind of made a move, but then the bonds in Japan and Germany made some moves. So depending on what these do, the bonds from Germany came back from negative, and we highlighted that again. All the Brexit concerns have gone away, but there has been some pressure there. China now even had great data, and surprisingly, the markets didn't react. And again, this was kind of with, I think, both the earnings effect, waiting for some of the earnings, and now it's just analyzing what we've got so far in this mixed bag of everything happening here so far. So, companies, I think the market is both, it's also liquidity, and some of these issues, people are seeing it develop, but people want to see the guidance for the rest of the companies coming out. It's kind of been a mixed bag. Banks have been good reports, bad guidance. Some people have been guiding good, but we still need a little bit more info. So every day that goes by is going to be interesting, especially with tomorrow, early week in the holiday. So we'll see how that's going to play out. I'm excited for the options trade. But now the last part about the market that I did not mention to you guys, and this is the secret killer. This is what I want to talk about now, going beyond the recap and even looking forward for this week and even into next week, and to keep an eye on. I'm going to put this on the watch list. I talked about this on the stream today. This is an important one. Oh, and I forgot. Like the video. Drop a like on this. You guys, I forgot. You have to drop a thumbs up, man. Support the channel. But this is the point I want to talk about, and it was healthcare. So this had an effect today. I had it up. I kind of gave it away there in the beginning of the video, IBB. So that's today's chart. It looks kind of like everything else, but the market could be getting this pull. A lot of, again, this happened in December, where there's a lot of good things happening in the market right now with earnings, or some, at least not bad things that could be drawing the market up, or at least, and it is holding up. Don't get it twisted that it's not. But again, like even days like today, or even what I'm fearful of is healthcare, because it's going to weigh down. It's going to weigh down different Dow components and different components, even S&P in general. But the IBB drop, but we're going to even go look at the specific healthcare stocks. And I want to explain the reasoning why, because we've been talking about this stream. People have been debating this back and forth. So I want to clarify. And again, like anything in this video, you guys, if I missed anything today, if you think I'm wrong about this healthcare stuff, anything, cool. I respect your opinion. I love you. It's all gravy. Just post it in the comments. Allow people, we could put everyone's opinion there. It's all good. Some people's opinions are stronger than other. I have all these theses. I'm documenting them so we see how they play out. That it's as simple as that gets. But with this healthcare thing, how it's playing, this happened in December again, and it was the same issues related to now. So I'm going to show you the healthcare stocks and talk about it, but we saw the same thing, and notably it was with earnings. We saw UNH. They even did good, but they still dropped. And now UNH is at the forefront of this, because a lot of this happened both the days before, but mainly Tuesday. It was really, we saw it move on Monday, but it came up with the earnings. We even, or that Friday, I think we made that play, but it really got bad off of Tuesday. Now it started to affect the markets, but you started to see all these companies move. And now here's the daily chart. Here's the 100-day chart. Even here is the yearly chart. That's UnitedHealth. Here is, I think I have them already for you guys up to go. Oh, no. You got Anthem there. You got Molina Healthcare. Well, actually, maybe instead of going, before I go to actually that, let me show you. There's Anthem. Anthem and United are related. So is Cigna. They're more closely related. And then Humana. So you're seeing all these charts. It looks like they're getting all slaughtered. And even, going back to UNH, they had earnings. So why are all of them getting killed if they haven't reported yet? And again, this is why watching for earnings season, I'm telling you guys, be aware of how other companies report so you could get a better idea of what's happening with future plays. So UNH, it caused it even with their earnings, but we started to see it there. And I brought up Allergen today as the play to watch because now we're starting to see a little bit more contagion. See, now it doesn't look as bad, but there's a lot of other companies now that are starting to get hit. Allergen, I was going to say Molina Healthcare now. Maybe we'll go back on a bigger chart. And, some some are getting affected more than others. What else was there? Horizon, HZNP. Some are, again, healthcare providers. Some are hospitals. Some are healthcare insurers. And now what did this all start with and what happened in December? So we could even use, again, UNH. Again, the same thing, like I said, happened around these same times in December, and then the overall market was dropping at the same time. We had a lot going on. So this is what I'm saying. It's kind of interesting this is happening again and at a more alarming rate, but it has both to do with policy and kind of the earnings, but sadly, mainly the policy. Now it's the politics. One, in December, it started with the issue with Obamacare, and they were looking to outlaw it, and I think that already has gone through. But essentially, that's when the first drama started, and that's going to affect these healthcare providers, their market cap essentially, or essential markets that they're going to have access to, or even mandatory access to. That's going to affect people's access to the drugs, the drug makers, and that's why the key here, and why I'm saying it secretly could be killing the market, is the contagion effect. It's now both on the overall pull on the indexes and stuff like that, but now it's going down. And it was interesting because actually pharma and healthcare was actually up in 2018, and it outpaced the S&P, which I think since like 1979 or something. It's only done that a few times, and every time since it's underperformed. Pharma is usually a place in healthcare where people go when the market is worried. Again, people are always going to get sick and die and get in trouble. So when it comes to investing for long-term side, UNH is pretty solid. So this selling off, I was surprised again for the reasoning, but it seems like there's really two things. One, it is the politics. That is one thing. So that's the first thing going on. Again, that is the Obamacare that happened there. But now people are saying healthcare for all. Bernie Sanders, and again, because he's actually brought something to Congress, a bill, and he is an actual senator. So it has a little bit more legs than that one AOC lady who's a little bit whatever. But she has a bill with something like that too. And there's just talks of it now, and people making various plans of healthcare for all and all that. And it's worrying the healthcare providers, and it's going to affect their market cap. Now, those aren't my words. That's from UnitedHealth CEO. So this is where it gets real juicy now, because this was yesterday, and this was on the conference call after hours. I think it was yesterday after or prior, but he went on the call, and you rarely hear from the UNH, the UnitedHealth CEO, but he said literally that this healthcare for all and some of these political, some of this stuff would be bad, and it could move the market. He said it could affect their business. And he said it just wouldn't be good. So I forgot the exact quote on there, as you could tell. But the fact that he rarely speaks, and him saying something on that has importance. But then that panicked investors. It was kind of a foolish move to a degree, but we're going to, because he didn't say that with the Obamacare, but this is all just speculation that it does happen. But I think if the more serious it gets and the more talks of this, people are going to get worried. And some people are said it's about to be a punching bag for the next 19 months, the healthcare stocks, and people are starting to price it in. I think that is what the UNH CEO said, something along those lines, or, I don't know. I'm reading off the chat too, but putting this all into perspective, UNH is at the forefront, and now how all these healthcare stocks are going to play out, it's going to be very, very interesting, either coming down or on a bounce. And again, this is just on the speculation that they are having, these talks of, okay, healthcare for all, but now where does it really get a factual effect on the stock? Downgrades. So therefore, right after, even after the earnings, they did good. They even guided good to a decent degree, even though they discussed that. But it was the downgrade. So that's the issue now. And I'll say, watch with the pricing. It's just getting a lot of downgrades. Some have downgraded from the 300s to 260s, 250s. So watch out for that. And I even said, watching this play, watch how they level out and watch where they go steady. But in general now, watch for healthcare. And here moving forward, with the rest of this week and earnings, and if anything is going to be playing around here, I'd watch healthcare and I'd watch for a contagion through these healthcare stocks. And this affects even maybe potential political effects that could have weight on other stocks. That's why I was even thinking Philip Morris or Altria with some of the tobacco bans and stuff like that. But if this does get some legs and have weight, watch out for that. And that's why I said Allergen, it's kind of the last. If you guys could find any companies related to this, post it in the comments. I like Allergen. It was up yesterday. It didn't get as affected, but now as it's starting to spread in these fears, you might start to see downgrades across the board, and people will start to get worried, and this could go down. But I think Allergen has a target on their back because of the stuff they do for the tax inversion and how much they avoid taxes. But they sell, it's all healthcare stuff and drugs. It's like 86%, 90% all in the U.S. So it's going to be interesting. Watch that. But I think this is having a secret pull on the market. This is what I think is, I don't know about stock market crash or correction, but we'll see. It could add some volatility here. If not, though, as individual plays, I'm eyeing these. We're going to talk about the specific plays I made on the watch list tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you guys are subscribed. I hope you guys are enjoying your earnings. I hope you guys are learning a lot from this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if I missed anything. Be on the stream tomorrow morning. It's going to be hype last day of the week. So just get excited. Wrap it up. Let's do it, man. Like the video. Subscribe. Okay, goodbye. See you soon.